Hi, family. Today we're looking at 10 simple solutions for building self esteem. This is now a book by Dr. Glenn Schiraldi. You're just in time to receive our summary of this book. Now, in this book, it mentions that we'll be looking at how to end self doubt and gain confidence, as well as create a positive self image. It is a book which is absolutely ideal for teenagers, adolescents, youngsters that are needing to understand who they are, define who they are. So if you're a parent and you have teenagers, this is the best book to gift them. And to make sure that they actually read this book, it's also recommended that you go through the pages of this book together and you discuss a couple of these concepts. But I highly recommend for teens. Right, so welcome once again to the family. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe, do press the bell notification button so that you don't get to miss any of our videos. We look at different books which are going to empower you and help you to understand certain important concepts. We also do welcome recommendations from you. You can share such in the comment section below. Right, welcome once again, and here follows our book summary of the 10 simple solutions for building self esteem. And so, solution number one, you need to know what self esteem is. Self esteem is an unshakable sense of satisfaction that comes from realizing our own self worth and also getting to choose to love and to grow. It is defined as a realistic and appreciative opinion of oneself. And self esteem understands actually that one is as great and capable as anyone else, though not more so. Therefore, realizing one's worth and yet remaining humble and respectful of others is important. It is absolutely important because, again, when you are respectful towards others, they will learn to be respectful towards you. Self-esteem doesn't mean being self-centered and arrogant, but rather that you become whole and true to who you are and that you value others for who they are too. There's no need to be envious or insecure of others. Self-esteem means that you know that not everyone will be great at the same thing, but that we all need to be great in our own unique spheres, in our own unique capacities. So, self-esteem centers on the following building blocks. Dr. Schiraldi mentions unconditional love, as well as unconditional worth, as well as growth. So once you have these building blocks set in place and well founded, you're able to work towards your self-esteem. Unconditional worth asserts that no external factors determine your worth. Your worth is not determined by what you wear or determined by how you look, determined by your height, determined by the places you've been to, your degrees, and those kind of things. Your worth is determined by who you are. And so whether life situations are to your favor or not, you remain a valuable person. You were created out of value, so you remain valuable throughout your entire life. Now, our core worth is independent of externals. So, whether you reach your goals or fail, or whether you gain wealth or are broke, or are loved by people or feel hated, all those are factors which are external and should never be used as a yardstick to measure your worth. That's where a lot of teenagers get it wrong because, hey, if I don't have a lot of friends, if a lot of people don't like to be with me, a lot of people saying all sorts of things, if I'm not dressed in the latest clothes, if I'm not stylish and fashionable, therefore, that should mean that I'm not good enough. They allow such externals to define the who they are. And so that is where such a book comes in and says, you know what? All of that is not what self-esteem is all about. You can have value your worth and have good self-esteem without having any of such externals. And Okay, and also a money note crumbled, for example. There's a huge and powerful example made. If you take a money note and you crumble it, and you step on it, you trample it underfoot, and you tear it, okay, in half, for example, does it change in value or not? No. If it was $100 bill, it remains $100 bill, whether you have washed it or whether it still has, stains from your peanut butter sandwich. It remains $100 bill. The value does not change because of whatever situation this poor $100 note found itself in. So no external factors can change your worth, and the same as how no external factor can change the worth of the $100 note. Unconditional love asserts that some people are privileged to be loved and others are not. And the beauty of it all is that we all have the capacity to love ourselves. You know, it's such a pity that some people, we love and some people we just don't. It's just a flawed part of humanity. It doesn't mean that's right. It's just what happens sometimes. You find some people in relationships and others not. You find some people having friends and others not. But that is not to say whoever does not have all those other friends is not good enough. No, it just means that whoever chose to be friends with whoever just didn't choose a particular person. They just chose one person over another, and that's it. It's a choice that a person has made. Yeah, but again, the beauty of it all is that we all have the capacity to love ourselves. You don't have to wait to be loved by other people. You can begin by loving yourself. In fact, the more you love yourself is the more you get to teach others, how you are to be loved. And unconditional love is the one that God gave humanity with no force, but with authentic care and nurture, right? There was absolutely no force. You're not forced to return this love, but it's given to you. Whether you return it or not, it'll come to your benefit, right? Because love is such an amazing thing. However, it was never forced on humanity. So once we accept ourselves, together with whatever failures and losses and mistakes and weaknesses, achievements, etc., we have attained, we empower ourselves and allow the seed of our core worth to germinate and to bloom. So growth is a process that leads towards a specific direction, right? You'll find that because of having this right foundation, you're able to grow towards the right direction. If certain things are not in place, you could grow towards a direction which is not necessarily going to benefit you in the long run. So all these are part of the building blocks that form part of this, as this phenomenon of self-worth. It is inherent in human nature that we feel satisfaction as we continue to grow in life. Whether we grow in the direction of our goals or not should also not determine our worth, but it helps us to feel the fullness of our worth. Okay, so don't attach your value to a goal. If I win in the tournament, then that is where my value lies, right? If I make money, that is where my value lies. No, your value is on the mere fact that you are a human being, created by a loving creator, for the best kind of purposes in life. So anything else becomes in addition, but your mere existence is enough for you to conclude that you also are valuable just like everyone else. All right, so moving on to the second section, or the second simple solution, that talks about being mindful. And solution number 2, be mindful. You see, humanity is a social being and is thus created to operate in social ways. We all were created to interact with one another in social ways. Such social ways require that you don't only live for yourself and your own interests, but that you also live to make a meaningful contribution to fellow humanity. That's why nowadays society awards you if you're going to make a meaningful contribution to society and make a difference, in the life of someone else. Because the more we give, is the more we make our entire society a better place, because we're supposed to be interacting, we're supposed to be, going a certain mile to assist one another and being there for others as humanity. So, being mindful does also assist with you feeling, your sense of self-esteem getting a boost, because you know what, these are the certain things that allow other people to respond in a positive manner towards you. All of a sudden, because you are mindful towards other people, they respond to you in a very positive way, and then you enjoy being in the presence of others because of what you began to do towards other people, because you are being mindful of others and they valued that and they responded in a similar way. So, in relation to self esteem, one's thoughts, behaviors, and feelings contribute to how they esteem themselves. If you think negatively about yourself, there's no way that you're going to have, a positive self esteem. No. If you think positively about yourself, however, there's no way that you would have a negative esteem of yourself. If you have low esteem, you are on the right track towards improving it, because your mindset already, is in the right path. It's telling you some positive things. You're entertaining, positive thoughts. You are keeping such thoughts roaming more in your mind. A child who does something good, which by the way is a behavior, and is praised for it, develops the interest to do more of such behavior, as they think, again with thoughts, that such will earn them the trust, the love, and appreciation, which are feelings that they desire. All right, so that behavior which is done has a way of influencing, the thoughts a person has, the conclusions a person makes, as well as has a way of influencing how a person generally gets to feel. And as parents, as youth leaders, we are encouraged to invest positivity into young minds, even aside from them doing things that we want. Don't wait for people to be doing something positive for you to share something positive to them, especially teens. Even if they're doing something wrong, make it your business to sieve through what they're doing and see if there's any positivity that you can highlight, make them feel good about. That way you are even, allowing them to trust you. You earning their trust. So that allows them to feel the appreciation and better understand that they always are appreciated regardless. Because a lot of times people feel as if I do something wrong, people will not appreciate me, right? People will hate me if I don't do something which they expect me to do. But that's also flawed. A person should be true to who they are, but the who they are should also be mindful of other people. So also one needs to learn to operate from their wisdom mind, okay, from within, and not solely operate using their ordinary mind. We learn in this book of the ordinary mind as well as the wisdom mind. So the wisdom mind, we would say, is more like the subconscious mind, the deeper mind, where your deeper sentiments lie, your deeper motives lie. And then your ordinary mind is, where the thoughts come in. Okay, so you don't just want to think based on how you feel and those immediate thoughts, but you want to be able to think deeper, based on your principle, based on your values, a bit deeper. Okay, so this being because the ordinary mind is shallow and it easily entertains worries and fears and concerns. By the way, those are examples of certain feelings, right? And doubts. And one can still disregard these and use their calm and discerning wisdom to make better decisions. So that inner mind, that discerning mind, that inner wisdom allows you to make much better decisions. Decisions which are going to be in line with your value. So to operate in the wisdom mind, one needs to develop the following 10 attitudes. We learn of the following attitudes: patience, okay, Be a patient person. Acceptance, okay, can be hard at times, but it's absolutely critical. Compassion, non-judgment, non-attachment. Beginner's mind, which is, that learning attitude. Okay, you don't have to get everything correct. That growth mindset. A good humor, commitment, vastness, as well as generosity. Okay, so these are some concepts we learn when we look into the section of being mindful, and we're encouraged to all have this. Okay, if you don't have it, for example, if you know you're not a patient person, at least try to work towards it. Yeah, work towards it. Allow it to be something that you are aware of and that you are doing something about it, not just something that you've just disregarded because hey, you don't care. Okay, that's the beauty of it. We're not perfect, but at least let's progress towards the right direction. So, moving on to the third solution, which is clear away negative thoughts. So, clear away negative thoughts, we look at this section and we learn that at times when life situations and adversity crosses our path, we may derive certain thoughts. Okay, obviously, because we're thinking a lot of times, we're always thinking during the course of the day, which would later create lasting emotions and influence our self esteem, depending on what kind of thoughts those are. If they are thoughts that are not uplifting and empowering us and serving us in any way, they can actually take away from our self esteem. So, for example, a bullied teen, okay, that is an adversity, the bully is the adversity, may conclude that they are the cause and are a weakling, okay. So, this is now a conclusion they draw in their mind, which becomes a thought that they can entertain, and thus become withdrawn behavior and distant and passive, okay. These are now emotions and akin with their behaviors, and it becomes imperative that one acknowledges that negative thoughts are a result of certain distortions that we entertain in our minds. Okay, so if you are having negative thoughts, it's not necessarily because the situation calls for that negativity all the time. It's not always because of that, but sometimes it's a flawed distortion. Okay, it's something that is taking away from something that can be more beneficial to you at that point in time. So, for example, a person who, number one, is an all or nothing thinker. Okay, so it's either I have everything or I have nothing, where one assumes the role of being perfect in everything and feeling inadequate if they don't reach desired levels of perfection. Okay, again, that's a fixed mindset. Person feeling as if they have a certain ability, all things are supposed to be going well for them each and every time. And so if things don't go well, it must mean that the problem is with them. And so they're always striving for perfection, okay, which is not always attainable. And number two, labeling, where one lets one particular negative incident and labels themselves according to the negative sentiments they received following that incident. I failed an exam and therefore I am a failure. Okay, so some people will actually draw such a conclusion and allow such to linger in their head, and even though it's not fundamentally correct, if the person can separate that act of failing the test from the who they are, it will serve them far better. Another distortion is when a person is overgeneralizing, okay, where one concludes that one failure means that they will always fail and they will never succeed. And such negative general remarks are the ones that are, they take away from a person's self-esteem. Because of something that has happened, therefore, I will always be attracting this, okay? I'm accident prone. Accident always come my way. And look at this now. I'm about to fall again. Oh, geez. Look, I just fell again, So people have a way of doing that. They overgeneralize and they use words such as always and never, okay, which by themselves also are a problem. Okay, another distortion is when a person is assuming, okay, where one becomes withdrawn with the reason that they feel that others are constantly judging them, even if people are minding their own business. Okay, because you went through something, now all of a sudden when you're walking past the corridor and you're seeing people laughing, you are assuming they're laughing about you, right? Your mind is always ready that if people are laughing and I'm walking in the area, that means they're laughing at me. Okay, so it fills a person's mind. It takes away from even the possibility of making friends with such people. You never know if maybe you could have had a couple of things in common, but because you're entertaining this assumption that, when they're laughing and I'm passing, therefore they must be laughing at me, it's taking away from, your experience. It is a distortion. Another one is an emotional reasoning where one draws negative conclusions following how they feel or how someone else made them feel. Okay, like by the way, you should not allow other people determine how you should feel. That is just giving them too much power. You should be the one who takes ownership of your feelings. Okay, you should be the one who decides, how you're going to feel in a situation. You should be the one that takes control. That emotional intelligence is something that you have the power over yourself. Another distortion is dwelling on the negative, where one focuses on things that go wrong in their lives and they overlook things which go right. So for example, there's 10 things in your life that went well and there's two things that went wrong, horribly wrong. And you leave the 10 and you focus on the two things because you feel, they went so wrong, it affected you the most, and you allow yourselves to dwell too much on those things. So that's also a distortion. You should be able to strike a balance and say, you know what? These two things did not go very well in my life, but hey, there's 10 that did, right? And be able to allow that to even boost your emotion and how you feel and allow you to progress from where you are. Another distortion is where you're rejecting the positive, where one shuts down the appreciation of good things and compliments and redirects them to an appraisal, right? So again, this is common in families where it's always like, no, 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 don't be modest, don't speak too much of what you've done, your accomplishments, just be modest. So a person grows up sort of like downplaying whatever good thing that they've done, you've done something good, but hey, just downplay it. And then when you do something wrong, hey, that is what people talk about, and that's what you feel comfortable to talk about, but you downplay the good that happened in your life. So it's okay. You don't have to brag and be boastful and just be arrogant, but you should be able to be truthful and be able to receive good compliments. And you don't have to base everything you do on those compliments, but at least be willing to receive them. And another distortion is making unfavorable comparisons, where one undermines themselves and their efforts by comparing themselves with those of others. Okay, so other people have progressed, other people have got cars, they've got this, they look happy in their relationships, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to compare yourself with other people. First of all, you don't always know what goes on the inside. And secondly, it doesn't serve you at all. You probably have got different purposes to pursue in life, and it does not do anything for you to be comparing yourself with what others have achieved. Now, it's good to also look at them and be inspired by their achievement, but it should not take away from you. Okay, so don't allow it to just make you seem as if you're not good enough just because this is what everybody else has achieved and maybe you have not. No, just focus on what you're doing. Be inspired by what others have achieved. Okay, another distortion is the shoulds and the oughts and the musts, right? Where one constantly places themselves under pressure to perform and behave in certain ways. Okay, it's good, pressure is good, healthy competition is good, but you don't want to be a person who's constantly placing themselves, in such competition and in such pressure. Okay, because hey, this is how you must always be doing more and more. It's okay to relax and take it in, right, and receive what it is that you already have done. It's a human aspect. Rest is also important. Just reflecting on certain things, winding down, it's also equally important. And another distortion is catastrophizing, where people are just looking at catastrophes, right? Where one heavily exaggerates issues and even foresees that all things will go wrong, they look and they see doom, problems at each and every phase of life. It's possible that things can go wrong. And yes, some things could feel catastrophic, but you should not be a person who focuses too much on that and is always thinking about such. Okay, remember, you could attract some things by how you always dwell in your mind on them. And also, number 11, we have personalizing. Okay, so where one takes everything personally and blames themselves for all things that go wrong. People take things personally, and when you learn more about emotional intelligence, you get to learn that if you move away from taking things personally, you've already taken a huge step towards managing yourself, and it's also a very good step towards being able to lead other people. Okay, don't take people's remarks personally. Don't take things that happen to you too personally. Okay, allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to be the joke sometimes. Don't take everything personally. And also blaming, where one constantly detaches from accountability and implies that it is always other people who are at fault. Okay, remember, there are always two sides to every coin. So as much as you can blame someone else, you equally can be receptive of the blame. Okay, so be open-minded about that and be willing to also apologize where people would feel that you have wronged them. So the above distortions can be assisted by keeping a journal, for example, and recording the emotions and thoughts that one has each day and observing the root cause of such thoughts and deciding on more uplifting replacements to such thoughts. So keeping a journal of such reflections will also help to measure any improvements made and observations made. It's happy time for journaling. Okay, make sure you get that journal, and it will actually be helpful in so many areas in your life. Keep writing your ideas down, as you reflect, as you see, which of these distortions you may have, and as you see any progress you may be making towards ridding yourself of them. Okay, and so moving on to solution number 4, which is be aware of your strengths. So be aware of your strengths. Now, in this section, we're looking at how those with good self-esteem are not necessarily brighter or smarter or richer or better or more blessed or anything like that than those with lower self-esteem. But they only value themselves and appreciate and love themselves more. So the only thing which is more is the fact that they love themselves more, they value themselves more, they appreciate themselves more. They see themselves, for the valuable people that they are, more than those with the lower self-esteem. And so, in fact, when we remove the need for perfection, we observe that we can accomplish far more than we can, and we can get a lot of things done. So if we move away the need to just do everything perfectly, it needs to be done in a seamless manner. If it's not perfect, it needs to be redone, it's not good enough. If we remove that and we focus on, giving the best that we possibly can give, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be the best that you can give, because the more that you focus on giving your best is the more your best piles up, and you become a better version of yourself. You become better than you were yesterday, right? But it's not about being perfect. And so if you make a list of 10 to 20 of your strengths and positive traits about yourself, and then you add a bit of evidence, okay? With evidence, we mean a truthful account to confirm that indeed this is a strength that you have. If you're saying that you're a patient person, add a bit of evidence. When were you patient? Give an example of a scenario where you were patient, okay? So that you can, have the evidence that you are a patient person. So add evidence next to each statement and revisit this list for about 10 days, and you keep adding additional evidence as you think of them. and when necessary, so you can be reminded of the good that you already have contributed, right? So sometimes people forget that they're smart, but then if you sit down and you think about it, like, wait a minute, I think I've done something that was smart. It must mean that I have in me the ability to be smart because of that evidence. It helps your mind to believe it. It stays longer because now you've got, tangible proof that you are a smart person, you are bright, you are beautiful, right? You are genius. Put those on paper, and keep reminding yourself of them. You also can meditate on such and make them as clear as possible in your mind so that you have tangible evidence to speak about, against any negative thoughts that you may have. Now, this is important because the negative thoughts normally come when you have gone through something, right? So let's say, for example, you've tried something and you got rejected. The negative thoughts will start coming in. But if you have a pool of evidence that is going to remind you that, hey, those negative thoughts are not true. You are not a failure because you know what? You are very successful. This is what you already have done. This is the evidence. So it'll help to just, remove any of these negative thoughts that will try and, take away from your self-confidence. But the good and the positive evidences will keep you afloat. It'll keep you, constantly confident and constantly of high self-esteem, regardless of what you go through. So, doing such an exercise will help you realize that you are far better, stronger, smarter than what you think of yourself at a particular time. Okay, so you've gone through something, you felt like you were too weak, but because of this evidence, you remember that no, it's not true. I am a strong person. I just had a moment of weakness. I'm human too. Okay, so that's what such can do for you, especially when you take the time to record it, put it down on paper, keep on revisiting it for yourself. Okay, that is how you can be aware of your strengths and how you can keep your strengths at the forefront of your mind, and have your strengths ready, to come and assist you when anything comes, to try and weigh you down. And so, moving on to the next solution, which is use mindful meditations. So, use mindful meditations is the next one, solution number 5. And, many a times people operate in their ordinary mind. Remember, we said the ordinary mind is where the thoughts a lot of the times linger, okay? Thoughts and all these emotions, the instability, okay? It happens, a lot of the business, it's prone to a lot of distractions, okay? All that is happening in the ordinary mind. And we said the deeper mind or the wisdom mind is where, like the subconscious, there's calm, there's tranquility, there's inner peace, there's silence. Okay, so that is the difference between these two minds. And according to the Tibetan culture, this ordinary mind easily frets, okay, easily worries because there's just so much going on. It easily becomes anxious. It always is busy, okay, and easily panics. And the peace of mind and good decision making operate in the wisdom mind, in the inner mind. So if you want to make good decisions, you want to operate into your in your inner mind. You want to go a step deeper within yourself and not operate in your ordinary mind. So it is said that we handle situations by either fight, flight, or fight or fright, or we allow and accept methods, and that the method recommended is that we allow life situations to occur and be aware of their occurring, and thereby not be influenced by them, but rather to remain grounded and to act in accordance to our core values and worth at all times. Sometimes if you just allow certain things to happen, right, or even if you're not necessarily giving consent, but that you accept, okay, that this is what's happening right now. I have no power to change it. If I did have power, I would do something about it, but I don't. Sometimes you accept what is going on in your life at the time, but You allow yourself to, to learn in the process. If it is a learning experience, you become yourself to be transformed by the process. You allow yourself to mature because of that process, right? So at the end of that process, you become a totally different person. And because you are aware of what is happening, you allow the situation to happen. You are not influenced by it necessarily, but you maintain this groundedness, and you're able to act in accordance to your values and your worth at all times. You're not going to act out of anger, because hey, it happened so fast and so I acted out of anger. No, you are accepted that this is the situation. You entered into your wisdom mind. You were able to think more soberly. You were able to reason. You were able to strategize. Okay, if this is what's happening, in my life, what is it that I can do about it? And then you focus on that. And so, if we also, instead of fighting and fear, become aware of the existence of certain things, and we continue in peace and love, and we find our courage. So we should remember the positive traits that already exist in our wisdom and our inner minds. We are not created with hate, but with love. And so, instead of focusing on fighting and on fear, we rather should focus on the deeper love that already exists in us, and its vastness will spread and will eliminate the hate. So, mindfulness has been proven to reduce stress and mental and physical suffering. When we love and forgive and do good and not chase hate, right, and chase revenge and envy and greed, we liberate ourselves, we liberate our souls, and we free ourselves from suffering. So, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice that one makes. And so it is important though that you, if you're going through a certain experience that is uncomfortable, that is not ideal, choose to not allow it to define you. Choose to rise above it. Choose to think soberly on what is it that you can do about it, maybe for next time. But don't allow yourself to harbor anger and all of these unwanted traits because of a situation. Don't allow even a situation to change who you are. Be true to who you are regardless of what you go through. So we learn that mindfulness helps us to take better care of ourselves and to gain better confidence and better development of character. With mindfulness, we are able to make better and more informed decisions, which are in better alignment with who we are. And so next time you look yourself in the mirror, take the time to look at yourself with the deep and genuine love and kindness, that you also deserve. So smile as you look at any blemishes or wrinkles or any flaws that you see. Love yourself for who you are. Okay, don't have to be perfect before you can love yourself. Some people can't even look themselves in the mirror. They look themselves in the mirror, but they strongly look away. So if you're able to just make it a practice, stand in front of that mirror, undress, look at yourself, appreciate the person that you see in that mirror, smile at that person, flaws and all. No one is perfect. Don't even strive for that perfection. Doesn't mean you have to now go for surgery because you don't like a nose that you have, or you don't like how big your ears are. No, okay? You can actually appreciate and accept your ears for how they look and love yourself with those ears, or that nose, or those hips, or anything like that. Okay? So that is the power of being mindful, the power of accepting yourself for who you are. And moving on to our solution number 6, which is cultivate joy. So this section, Cultivate Joy, basically is reminding us that when you cultivate your joy, you feel happier. Okay, again, I'm going to put emphasis on your joy. There's certain things that will make you happy, which may not necessarily make someone else happy, which is why it's important that we take the time to get to know each other, get to know what makes what makes us happy, and not assume that, hey, because you are female, because you're from this region, therefore you must be happy with dancing. You must love writing, you must love reading, you must love cheese. So Everyone has their happiness, has something that makes them happy. So you need to cultivate your joy, what makes you feel happy and what makes you feel satisfied and more confident in yourself. And these will help with your self esteem. So it's important, get to know yourself, take the time to know who you are, right? Not what you like and what you have, but who you are. Okay. Now, what robs people of happiness at times can be embodied in some myths which people believe about happiness. And some of the myths are number one, that happiness follows worth. Basically, that you can buy happiness. If you've got everything that you want, surely you must be happy. And that's playing. Playing is immature and is for kids. Some people think that hey, if you're busy playing, that means you didn't play enough in kindergarten. But you know what, playing can actually entice certain feel good hormones. You can feel much better about yourself because you've played, you've laughed, okay, felt like a kid again. Pleasure follows productivity. Okay, now some of us have been guilty of that one, that what, you only can have pleasure once you've been productive. Okay, that can be quite a limiting interpretation, apparently. That the end result is more important than the process. And that one is especially flawed because it's akin to the fixed mindset, by the way, that it's either you've done this, you've received this exact result as what everyone else received or what you're supposed to receive. It doesn't matter the process that you took to get here. It doesn't matter the learnings that you have acquired along the way, because sometimes you may not have gotten the right answer, but you know what, you got a lot of the steps right. And for next time, all you need to do is improve a couple of steps and you're going to arrive at the right results. And in some cases, someone actually got the right answer, but they got it in ways which are immoral, in ways which are not ethical. Okay, so it's really not just about the end result and the end, a performance. The process is equally important. The process is what becomes even sustainable, because once you've mastered the process, you're consistent, you're able to keep on excelling at all times. That's more akin with the growth mindset. Okay, so other people again follow this myth that worth follows success. That if you're successful, you'll be worthy, or you'll be, your worth will be seen. It's not just about that, whether you're successful or not, you always are a person of worth. Pleasure decreases productivity, okay, as well as mistakes and failures disqualify from the attainment of pleasure. These are myths, that it's near impossible to be genuinely happy. I must be attractive to be happy. Ladies especially, we end up falling into this trap that if I'm not attractive enough, I'm not going to be happy because no one's even going to love me. And you know what? I don't love myself enough. You don't have to be attractive to be happy. You can be happy regardless, and because of that happiness that will begin from within you, you end up attracting the right people into your life. Okay, you also can appreciate the clouds whether you are in a mansion, okay, in a hut or in prison. Clouds remain clouds. Okay, some things, the beauty of what God has made will be there, regardless of where you are in life, and you need to equally appreciate it regardless of where you are. So be grateful for what you have. Keep a journal. Once again, that journal is a reminder. Keep a journal and record all that you are grateful for. Gratitude helps you to become more appreciative and fulfilled in life. And yes, it's okay to laugh at yourself and your mistakes sometimes, because we all make mistakes in life. And not when you laugh about it, again, you're going to end up feeling good about yourself. Yes, you will say, I should have done this differently. But when you laugh it off, you just remove the stress part of things. You're human too. Okay, just don't do it again. Okay, or at least learn from it. So yes, these are a couple of the myths that people entertain, and do yourself a favor and remove such myths from your thinking. Okay, remove yourself from that, and practice the positives of such myths. It's okay that you're gonna go and be adventurous. Break a leg, have fun. Play with toys even. Okay, watch your favorite animations. It's okay. You can do those kind of things, but you need to find out what makes you happy. Be on a journey of just discovering what is it that makes you happy, and be able to revisit that once so often. Even set an appointment. You know what? On this day, I just do things that make me happy. I tap into my happiness, and see what that is gonna do for you. Right, and we move on to solution number 7, which is appreciate your body. So, number 7, appreciate your body. Agreeably, your body doesn't determine your worth. Already, I've said that so many times, right? No external can determine your worth. Same, your body does not determine your worth, it is an external. If, however, you don't appreciate your body, flaws and all, the blemishes, the imperfections, your height, or the certain parts of your body you don't like, that may easily be transferred to how you feel about yourself internally. I'll give an example. I lost a tooth cracked, and it affected how I smile. It affected how I wanted to smile. Even though it's an external, it has a way of just affecting the who you are. I love to smile, I love to laugh, but for a huge section I was just hiding, because I wanted to hide this part of the tooth. And so, same as with your body, even though it doesn't determine who you are, it is an external. But if you don't appreciate it, if you don't, value it for what it is, it has a way of affecting your esteem. Once again, when you see people walking around and they're laughing, you will feel as if they're laughing at you because, hey, what if they are body shaming? Okay, so it easily can lead to that. So you need to love and appreciate yourself holistically, and that includes your body too. Okay, it is a vessel that you can use, to walk around and get a lot of things done. So appreciate it. If there are certain things that you don't like about it and you can do something about it, why not? Do something about it. If you feel as if you lose weight, you're gonna feel better, then lose the weight. Okay? If you feel as if you gain the weight, you'll feel better, then gain the weight. If you feel as if you've exercised and you've toned, you're gonna feel better, do that. Okay? But appreciate your body and do whatever it'll take for you, to get to appreciate your body. Not that it's not good enough as it is, but it does affect how we feel, right? And so sometimes, you can do something about it. You don't like the flab, you can do something about it. Do something about it so you can start appreciating yourself as well. So you can get in the habit of standing in front of a mirror, and instead of finding flaws, just find all the good parts that you see in your body. Take the time to just look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, let me identify the good stuff. Oh, wow, you've got a beautiful smile. Oh, wow, I love your eyes. You're talking to yourself. You're talking to the person in the mirror. So if you're able to do that, again, it'll give you that evidence of the positives that are there in your body. Because even if you don't have the perfect body, there are some things that are great about your body, right? Focus on them. You can focus on them. And so you can do that to yourself. And your body, once again, is the temple of the Lord. It is intricate. It is special and should be treated with care and appreciation. With care and appreciation, things like having a good diet, eating well, resting. Okay, taking time for yourself, nurturing your body, dressing well, not exposing your body to things that it shouldn't be exposed to. Okay, so those are ways that you can be taking care of your own body, and those are ways that you can show that you appreciate your body, because you know what, it has a way of affecting how you feel about yourself. Okay, so once again, number 7, appreciate your body, and we move on to number 8, solution number 8, which is caring for your mind, caring for your body. All right, in this section, we're looking at caring for your mind and caring for your body. And we learned here that the mind and the body are actually very well connected, which should make sense, right? Because a huge part of our being is well connected. We are interconnected people. So as you take care of your body, you also take care of your mind. If you don't take care of your body, you do not take care of your mind, because all of this, is well connected. So the following practices should form part of your mind and body care regime. Sleep, for example, it's a basic thing which people take for granted, but it is absolutely imperative. You need to sleep. Don't rob yourself of quality sleep. And if you have, if you find yourself that you've robbed yourself of sleep, make time to catch up on it. Okay, it's okay to say I'm gonna sleep in today. Okay, it doesn't mean you are lazy, but it means that you're valuing yourself enough. Okay, and okay, so don't rely on pills to fall asleep. Some people have to take pills to sleep, okay? Don't be that person, right? And exercise before dinner time to distress and wind down well so you sleep better and you have a quality sleep. So not everyone does this, by the way, and with exercise, it does not necessarily mean go and run a marathon, okay? And you can do something basic, okay? You can, even clean the house, okay? Move around, get some exercise, and so that when you go to sleep, your body gets to wind down. It's even better if you do that exercise as well as take a shower or a bath, and help to loosen up a bit of these muscles a bit. It also gets to help with how you have a sound sleep. So exercise is also very important. A healthy body, longevity of life. We know the benefits of exercise. We get taught of it everywhere. It's a matter of practicing it, or exercising it, right? Yeah. So even things like a better confidence you can have when you exercise, a better mood, better social interactions, and just overall better well-being. It is associated with regular exercise. So if you just put yourself out there and you exercise regularly, it's good for your body, it's good for your mood, it's good for your esteem, all right? As well as good nutrition. Eat well, hydrate yourself, okay? Eat the right stuff. So you are what you eat. So eat right so you can be right, okay? So we know that junk food tastes awesome, in some cases, it's even cheaper, but don't rely on that, okay? Value your body enough to say, hey, I'm not going to give it junk food. I'm not going to give it, cholesterol inducing food and stuff like that. I'm going to be giving it things which are healthy, which are going to be of value to it, even in the long run, okay? So, yes, care for your mind, okay? Make sure that you allow positive things to enter into your mind. Care for your body, okay? Give your body what it needs and deserves, okay? Allow your body to serve you, because think about it, you only have this one body. You're not gonna keep changing bodies. Yes, the body can restore itself, the cells can change, but it will be this one body that you have. So take care of this body, and it will take care of you in return. And moving on to our second last solution number 9, which is develop your character and spirituality. And so number 9, develop your character and spirituality. Again, key word here is develop, okay? You need to work on it. It's not going to be an automatic occurrence. It's going to require a process. It's going to take some time, but you need to develop your character and your spirituality. So your character is a result of your moral and inner strength. It is the duty of all humanity, regardless of race or nationality or gender or social status or just whatever. It is your duty to behave in a manner that is moral and fair and considerate to others and themselves, and most importantly, in allegiance with the Creator. Now, this is quite a sensitive topic because a lot of religions and beliefs exist out there. So, for some people, the creator could be in a form of, a scientific phenomenon that happened, but for other people, a creator, is a divine God who created, so people have got different understandings and beliefs when it comes to the creator. But it's very important that you understand, though, that, The one who created you had a purpose for your life, and you were designed to fulfill a certain purpose. So you want, most importantly, to be in alignment with why you were created. If you have no purpose, you can just walk around aimlessly and do whatever it is that you want. But the mere fact that you were created, means that there must have been a purpose that you were created for, and you want to align with that purpose, which is why it's important, to get to know your creator, get to be in one with your creator, do the will of your creator. And once again, people have got different teachings when it comes to this. But it's important that you are aware of it as well, and you align yourself accordingly. You need also to take the time to reflect on yourself and make improvements when necessary. Okay, yes, we understand that no one's perfect, but it doesn't mean that you accept all your flaws. There are certain flaws that you have to work on. There are certain flaws that, once you have seen, for example, if you know you are inconsistent, it doesn't mean you should accept that. No, you've seen it, but hey, work on it, okay? Improve on it, get better. Okay, we don't accept it. We don't keep it the way it is. You can accept that this is the situation, this is my weakness, but don't allow it to remain a weakness for good. Do something about it. Okay, so forgive yourself as much as you forgive others. Okay, by the way, some people don't even forgive others. Okay, it's a bit of a problem, but you want to be able to forgive yourself as well, for whatever it is that you did and you were not aware, for whatever it is that you did, and you did again, it was a mistake and you keep on doing it, forgive yourself, forgive yourself. And once you have forgiven yourself, you also will give yourself that fair chance that, what, I also am deserving of another chance. If you don't forgive yourself, it's like you're saying you don't deserve another chance, and whatever chance you had, that was it, and you've messed up, and that's the end of it for you. No, forgive yourself, but also forgive other people, okay? And as much as you forgive others, like we said, forgive yourself. And everyone makes mistakes, such as you. Okay, you also can make mistakes, and everyone deserves a second chance. So as much as they deserve a second chance, guess what? You also deserve a second chance. So forgiveness won't be easy, but it is liberating, okay? Which is why you don't forgive because someone has asked for your forgiveness, okay? Don't forgive because someone has apologized. No, you forgive because it is liberating for you, okay? You forgive before everyone even thinks, of asking forgiveness. You just let it be your culture to forgive and not attach yourself with some negatives which people, will try and bring into your life. Okay, so remember that God loves you unconditionally, and with such love, you should at least love yourself and give God the glory and the praise. Okay, I will say God because I believe, in God. Someone else can use a different definition depending on their belief of the Creator. Okay, I am sharing the one that I have. I don't want you to feel as if you are limited to mine. I just define it in this way. So yes, the way that you will love unconditionally, love yourself and love those around you as well. Equally forgive unconditionally, okay? Forgive without terms and conditions that apply. Let it be just you forgive because it makes sense, and it's going to allow you to focus on what needs to be done on the next step, on the way forward. Do that for yourself. Life is going to be much more meaningful. It's going to be much better for yourself. All right, and last but definitely not least, on our 10 simple solutions for building self esteem, we look ahead. All right, so number 10 is look ahead. Okay, so once again, family, if you haven't joined, do join, do like, to subscribe, to share your views, okay, and share this message with other people as well. Let's continue to learn. And if you have a recommendation for another book we can look at, do share your recommendation in the comment section below as well. So on our last solution, last but definitely not least, we're looking at solution number 10, which is look ahead. Now, there are vast opportunities that come your way, and how you receive them and what you make of them will make a meaningful difference in your life. So stop allowing your setbacks and your mistakes and shortcomings to hinder you from your greatness, okay? I mean, everybody goes through setbacks. Everybody goes through mistakes, or everybody does mistakes. Everybody has certain shortcomings that they experience. But if someone else can also go through something similar and not be hindered by it, you know what? There's nothing stopping you from doing the same, okay? So don't allow yourself to just be hindered by, things that happen in life. Allow yourself to remain true to the goal that you have set for your life, for the destination that you're working towards, in line with keeping true to the purpose that you are in pursuit of, okay? But yeah, continue with that and don't be hindered along the way. Don't be hindered from arriving at your greatness. You need to realize your purpose in life and strive towards attaining it. Okay. Again, it won't necessarily be the same as that of someone else. Not everybody's going to be a lawyer. Not everybody's going to be a teacher. Not everybody's going to be a cleaner. Okay. Not everybody is going to be a stay-at-home mom. Okay. People have got different roles. People have different, purposes that they need to attain. Find the one that's true with who you are, okay, and do it to the best of your ability. Consider the challenges that cross your path as learning experiences that you acquire and use along the way. Again, if they're learning experiences, it means, you know what, you will do better next time. Maybe they happened because you were not aware, they happened because you had not learned enough, all right? But they do not define who you are. They're just what you went through, and you can learn from them and you can do better next time. And sometimes you don't just learn from what has happened to you alone. You learn from what is happening around you as well, from what's happening, to other people as well. Okay, which is why it's important. Again, we remain in a network. We are interconnected. Okay, you don't just live exclusively for yourself. Okay, consider those around you so you can also learn from their mistakes. Um, okay, so look ahead to more, better, and vast opportunities and prepare yourself to receive them. Okay, again, this is important. You prepare. You don't prepare when the opportunity comes, by the way. If you're preparing when the opportunity comes, it's already too late. You prepare before the opportunity comes. You prepare and you do what's necessary, the training, the rehearsals, the practices, so that by the time the opportunity comes, you should be ready. Okay, so you don't wait for the opportunity to come for you to say, okay, now only I'm going to prepare. No, you started before that. Okay, so look ahead, decide what you want to work towards, prepare now. The opportunity will come and it better find you ready so you don't regret. And so look ahead, for better and vast opportunities that you need to prepare for. Look ahead to finishing the race of realizing your purpose and allow yourself to be groomed by the discipline, the consistency, the focus, the determination, that you will develop along the way, because it is a process, okay? And so there's certain things that you'll acquire as you continue on the process. Allow all of that to help in shaping you for who you are. Ensure that your goals ahead are clear. Okay, you want to have clear, specific goals, measurable goals, attainable goals, realistic goals, time bound goals. Okay, and you want to work on the daily processes that's required to attaining those goals. It is possible, it has been done, and yes, you can do it as well. So yes, those are the 10 simple solutions to help building your self-esteem, especially for teens. This is something that can be applicable for you, parents of teens. Okay, this is something that you can use to empower these teens and help them to practice these, especially things like keeping a journal. Let it be in their lifestyle even now. Things like being grateful and showing gratitude. Let those things be part of their lifestyle now and let them grow with them so that by the time, life gets to hit them hard, they'll have, very good foundations that are set for their lives. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you in this session. Okay. Again, do share your views. Let's continue to grow together as a family, and we'll meet again in the next book summary.